Carl Edwards is there, and he was in the broadcast booth for a period of time for the race. I heard everybody just thought it was great having him in the booth. He was really well-spoken and did a great job. And I thought he would do well because he thinks about what he's about to say. You know, he puts a little thought into what he's getting ready to say, and he does a really good job. We actually go out and do a Q&A outside the racetrack on the front straightaway with Carl, Casey Kane, and Matt Kenseth. And so Carl, you know, his answers are very eloquent, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, man, Carl, you're going to have a blast in the booth. You know, you're going to do great. He's a little nervous, but I think you're going to be fine. One thing I want to say, though, man, is throughout this whole experience, the one person that was probably more taken aback by the fan reaction was Carl. Carl hadn't been around, right? I'm sitting next to him on the stage, and I'm saying, hey, man, you pretty surprised by the way people were reacting to you being here? And he's like, yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it. I'm pretty overwhelmed. And I was like, man, you know, you ain't been around. You ain't been here. Well, all the rest of us, they see us from time to time. They know where we are. We do the shows, the podcasts. You know, fans kind of get an idea of what we're up to. But they don't. And so the demand for you is really high. And the more you withhold, the more that demand goes up, right? And so they were thrilled to see him. And obviously, he's getting hammered about being back in a race car. He looks perfectly 100% healthy, like he's got another 10 good years left.
Might even look better. I mean, he was looking, yeah.
He looks great.
He's lean, yeah. Hay bales, man.
He looks like he's got 10 solid
for sure
winning years left
in
the tank. And so, obviously, people are hammering him with, everybody just wants to know, Carl, are you going to race? Carl, when are you coming back? Carl, have you missed it? Carl, when do you think about it? And I can tell in his eyes that it pains him a little bit to have to, be quite honest about it, right? That he's thought about it a little bit, but hey, he's having a great time. He's traveling the world. He's seeing so much with his family. He's got other plans that he told me about that are going to be time-consuming things that he's going to go do with his family. And I think the reason why maybe he has kept it at arm's length is because that experience that he's having right now is very important to him. And the lure of racing, it's like the siren, right? Calling the sailors out to sea, right? Or toward the reef, I should say. So, he's thinking, man, if I get too close to that again,
it's going to pull him right back.
It's going to pull me back in. I'm gonna get to where I'm justifying splitting time, not doing things I really should be doing, right? And with his family. So I was sitting there watching him go through that whole day, and really, I was hating to see him sort of having that tug of war right in his mind. Like, man, I love this reaction. Everybody was so happy to see him. All the fans just, Carl, yes, where you been? Come back, hey. That's compelling, and as much as it might be a somewhat of a challenge for him to sort of put into words and help us understand where he's at mentally, everybody's curious.
Yeah.
Right? It's so curious to see what happens. I will say, to be one of those people, I think that he definitely has the itch. I think we had him on the pre-race on a pit box some years ago, and it might have been 4 or 5 years ago, and they point blank asked him, like, hey man, you ever coming back? He's like, nope, I'm pretty good, not thought about it, no interest. But he wasn't that defiant, or he wasn't his concrete, right, in his answers. I knew that he was going to have a great time in the booth. I bet he loved that. I bet he's probably thinking in his mind, wow, I'd love to do that more, right, in any capacity, whether it's TV, radio. So it'll be interesting. I think we might. It won't be 5 years, 4 years before we see him again.
Really? You think that?
Well, I mean, what was it? A month or two ago, he was over at Trackhouse, walking around the shop, just taking it in.
Oh, I know that. I'm saying, but you think he'll be back in a more meaningful way? Maybe
nobody knows, Mike.
Okay, well, this is what I'm trying to see if you're trying to hint at. Like, you had this conversation with him. You think the itch is there?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know anything that you don't know.
Okay.
I don't have any secret news or any idea of what he might do or might not do. I know that he's got plans to go do things with his family that are things that are going to take some time and sound incredibly awesome. And I think he's being quite honest. Like, hey, I don't have a deal. I don't have a plan. I'm not talking to a team, but who knows?
Okay. I got one more question then. Because somebody is listening to this and they're thinking it because you've seen him on Twitter every week. We get hit that says we get tweeted that says, "Hey, get Carl Edwards on the show." And I've long believed he is not coming on this show. He don't want to.
I didn't even ask him.
Okay.
And I saw the social media comments as well when we were sitting on that stage together. Everybody's like, "I hope they're he's asking him to come on the download." He ain't coming. He ain't ready. He ain't interested.
That's what I want people to understand. We've asked for years.
Yeah.
We've asked.
We have.
He won't come on.
Look, he's like, respectfully, I don't want to do it. And I think because he can't, he doesn't have an answer to the questions we're going to ask him. Carl, you going to race again? He doesn't know. He really doesn't. Carl, what's the plan 3-5 years from now? He doesn't know. And he don't want to think about that. He don't want to have a plan. He's good. He's sort of going where the wind blows, literally.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
Is he getting into the hot air balloon business? What is this?
You're tracking in a decent direction. That's not really it, but the guy has been studying sailing and doing a lot of I was surprised he's been reading. He told me he's reading hundreds of books about it. So yeah.
All right.
Anyhow,
let's move on.
Yeah, Carl. It was. I will say, man, he is well appreciated by our fan base. He was. All the fans were great to everybody on that stage, but the reaction for Carl was very special.
Good.
Hey, if you like that video, like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another piece of Dirty Mo Media content.